That looks happy. That looks fairly, I think it's happy. I'm not sure. We're kind of doing something over there. There we go. Okay. So, welcome everyone to Workshop Wednesday, where today I'm going to try something I have not tried before. I'm going to bookbind a little pamphlet. I'm going to try making a book, basically, making a little notebook type thing. I have some instructables that I'm going to be basing this off of, but we're just going to see where it goes. I don't know how accurate or good this is going to be, but we're going to play around with it, and basically this is going to be my first attempt at making a little pamphlet, and then hopefully, as with so many things, you make the first one, and it's not at all what you want it to be, but that teaches you what you need to know to make the good one, if you will, or the next one, or at least a better one. So the instructable I'm following is simply handy-notebook on instructables. And we're going to start by making what we call signatures, which are these folded over pieces of paper that make up the basic chunks of a book. So I'm just going to fold over some paper here. Now this is thick paper from my printer. I tend to buy heavier weight paper than the average sort of copier paper, because I find, I do a lot of handouts for like anime conventions and such, and so I think it's just nice having a piece of paper that, it's a couple of reasons. One is that because it's thicker, you can print double-sided, and you're immediately seeing through that paper. But then also, they can sort of survive the rigor of a convention. So if I do these handouts, a lot of these other pieces of paper will just kind of fall apart. And this way, with some heavier duty paper, it will kind of live. So there's a signature. And I think what I might do is just do two signatures and see if I can combine them together. See how that goes. What do I have here? I have definitely 4 more pages. So let's just fold a few more pages. Turns out, apparently, printer paper is actually kind of designed to be printed one way. So there is a top and a bottom side to copier paper. One side prints a little better than the other. So you may notice here that I was a little incautious in how I was folding this, meaning I might have had something backwards. Wow, it turned out to be exactly 8 sheets of paper. That's cool. I did not plan that. Maybe I did. Who knows? All right, so there's that. So, ideally, these would all be the same side, outside versus in. But okay. So obviously, this is not a perfect fold because I'm human. You might be able to tell here it's a little outside, but oh well. All right, so I have my signatures. Now we're going to make marks. We're going to poke our holes. I don't know what our holes will be. We want them to be very accurate, and we're going to poke holes in those. So let me grab... do I have a... 1 second, let me grab a pen from the other area here. There we go. So we're going to mark these. They said every 6 inches or so, which would be about right. I'm not a huge fan of that, so I'm going to say, let's see here. So this is a little under 200 centimeters. You know what we'll do? I think we'll just do one every 40. But 4 times, yeah, that'll work. So let's mark. And apparently we want to do these side by side. So I think I'm going to do this. And so we want 40, 80, 120, 160, 200. We'll try that. So we'll do dot there, 40, marking on both of them, 80, 120, 160, 200. And that's pretty even. Okay, so there are my marks. You can see there, all the way down. A little higher up here than down there, but okay. I can live with that. So there are my marks. And then we're going to poke holes in that. I'm actually going to use a needle. Just a straight up needle. And I will thread a needle through these. Might actually be a bit big for the thread I'm going to use. Let me try a smaller needle. Yeah. And I will go ahead and put like a... actually, I should probably use a pin. I have pins. Yeah, I'll use pins. 1 second. Made my little pin cushion. Might as well use it, right? So we have our hole there, our hole there. That's so much easier to do. And finally our hole here. I'm actually gonna... Where'd you go? I put a hole in you. Okay. Oops. Ah, went flying. Alright, so I got holes poked there. Let's do the rest of them. No idea if this is a good idea or not. Holding them this way. And I'm just sort of pushing that around so as to get some little extra space. A little extra movement through those, so that hopefully that thread will move through easily. There's that last one. All right. Boom. All right. Two. There's our two signatures with holes poked. Then we're going to just thread it. So let me grab some thread. One second. I'm going to have some thread here. Come on. There we are. So here's some white thread that I'm going to use to bind this. Hopefully it'll be visible. I don't know. This person said about 1 meter of double threaded, so 2 meters in total, which would do the entire notebook. So let's see here. So let's do roughly that much. Scissors? Scissors? Somewhere. We'll start here. That's about 1 meter. And then I'm actually going to take one of those needles I was using before. I'm going to thread that. So perhaps I should use black thread so folks can actually see it, but we'll see. That seems like it's doable, so I'm going to go ahead and going to thread that needle, quite literally. Get it a little easier to go through. I think that's done. Done it. It's a little caught, but I think it's threaded. Yeah, excellent. So it's funny how threading the needle has become kind of a catchphrase, if you will, or just a saying. This is what it actually means, getting the thread through the needle. All right, so I basically threaded that all the way through to the midpoint, And so now I have a double length. Actually, I could make it a little more even, perhaps. Okay. So I've got that there. And then we'll tie a knot at the end. So this double length, which goes down to this end here. And it's not exactly even, that's okay. I'm going to go ahead and probably be entirely invisible on camera. I'm going to try to tie a double knot in that. I'm going to go ahead and trim that. So there's one loop. Oops. A little more tricky when you have two threads. Pull that in, and then same thing around. And just knot that. Okay. So I now have a knot in the end of my thread there, right there in the palm of my hand. Okay. And then we'll go ahead, go down to the needle. Okay, so here we go, we're ready to go. Taking your bottommost signature, needle gear threaded from the outside to the inside of the first hole. Out from the second, in from the third, out from the fourth, in from the fifth, and out again from the sixth. Now needle gear thread into the fifth hole, the fourth, out to reach the last hole. Then tie a knot. Okay, so we're going to, I think that makes sense. So from the outside, and that's our top. On the outside in, man, but I punched a hole in that. Apparently not a very big hole. Okay. Gotta make sure it's even. Goes in. And we're going to pull that through, all the way through, and then we poke back out, then in, oh, that's not hot, there we go. Ah, interesting. It's uneven. I need to, there we go. So I think you can see now this line of thread here. There we go. And that's what we're doing. So we're kind of alternating thread in and out. Then we'll go here. This definitely would have been easier to follow if I were using black thread. Oh, gosh, one second. It's gotten all tangled up in this bobbin here. What's going on here? What the? How did that get all? Okay, there. Okay. So we go back out. And then back in. And then when we get to the end, we'll basically reverse the process. This definitely feels like the right amount of thread. Ooh. Again, we had an unevenness there. There we go. This goes out. I said this goes out. There we are. Okay. Just trying to make sure that these lines are are reasonably taut. Ah. Hold it right out of me. Ah, it's getting all tangled. Okay, hold on. I think I can resolve this. Or not. Ah! It's gotten all tangled up. Like really badly. It basically fell through the thread. So hopefully I can disentangle this somehow. I mean, it's all just one big loop. So ultimately, it must be solvable. I just have to pass this back through something. I think there. Wait, oh, nope. Pass that up through there. Better. Oh, right. Now I have a little knot. But I'm actually okay with that. Yeah, there's a little knot in there, but I don't think that'll make much of a difference. Like, we'll have to pass through, obviously, but I think it's tiny enough that it won't actually catch. We'll find out in a second. Look at that. Went all the way through. Okay. So again, now we're just alternating the other way around to get our thread through there. And obviously there's all sorts of bookbinding thread and such you can specialize with, but for this, I'm not that worried. So we'll do this here. And these ugly little dots you won't see. It'll be inside the binding, the spine of the book. And then back through that first hole. And then what do we do? Oops. That was a good amount of thread, as you can see. Good amount enough. Here's the first hole. Tie a knot on the inside of the signature, then thread out a needle from the first hole itself. Tie a knot on the inside of the signature. This is the inside, right? Yep. And then thread out a needle, and thread out a needle from the first hole itself. All right, let me just look at their images. Okay. Not entirely sure how to knot that on this end. I think what I'm going to do is pull this through a couple of times just to sort of wrap it around that end. And then I'm going to push it out. Oof, look at that. Oh, what's going on? That's not happy. Oh, it's that knot. That knot doesn't want to go through. Did that go through? What's going on? Right, this may be my Waterloo. Okay. There we go. Need to be a little more serious. Whoa. Hold on. And that knot's giving me trouble. Ooh, we pulled back out the... Oh, no! We pulled out the beginning. That sucks. So, in trying to resolve that first one, you kind of screwed up the other one. Okay, hold on. There's that. This is what? This is that. Let's see if I can't pull out... At least get this fixed. Okay, so that's fixed. Now I've got something funky going on here. So this is the beginning of the ligature, or the thread. That knot has kind of screwed me over. Okay. See, now the knot is interfering with the rest of the thread. And it's popped out the beginning of this. I have to redo this. I don't think I should have gone back through, because that widened the hole. The beginning of it was tied to. So you had that knot on the end. By going back through, I widened that hole, which allowed the knot to slip back out. So, lesson learned. And I can't really re-thread that knot. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. to redo it all. And yeah, I know that that hole is now going to be pretty wide, but I'll just have to make the knot a little bit bigger to compensate. Okay, lesson learned, like I said. All right, let's de-thread the needle. All right, so that thread goes away. We grab some new thread. I still like the idea of, so we still want a meter. So there's going to be about a meter's worth. Then we thread the needle. This won't take long because we kind of have the, or I have the sense of it now, I think. Thread that. I just realized I threaded that needle with my left hand the other day. That was kind of interesting, or a few minutes ago. That's kind of surprising. Okay. I'm also shocked that I was able to thread that needle that easily. Hang on. Happening again. Happening again. We pull this out. Again, trying to be even. Okay. And the nice thing is I can actually get even on this side and then just adjust the slack on the other side at the needle end. Okay, so let's, again, we're going to make a simple knot. Pull that in a little bit. Then make another knot. I said make another knot. One of these days I'll get this figured out. And then pull the first one tight. Hang on, tight. Okay. And then tug on that until it's nice and tight. Okay. So if I tug that, good. It's not really going anywhere. All right. And like I said, I can just pull on these threads to get it nice and even on the other end. Okay. So there we go. There's our needle. So, second verse, same as the first. We start from the outside. Tie a knot. From the outside to the inside, yep. Outside to inside. I'm going to be a lot more careful this time. And then this goes here. Just trying to get that nice even line. Come on. Come through. I can see that. There we go. Again, just alternating those two. Ooh, something interesting happened there. And again, we got a, oh, okay. Just a bit of a catch. I think we're okay. And we go through here. If I can get things lined up properly. The thread can kind of catch on itself, I'm discovering, which can be a bit of a problem. Okay. Put this through. This way. think we've got the idea here. Just make sure. Yeah, it's nice and taut. Okay. Go through this one. No knot this time. That's going to help tremendously. Oh, we do have a slight... Yeah. There we are. There's a slight difference in length there, which I had to adjust. Good. Go in here. Okay. I'm glad I redid this. It's feeling much more correct. Don't like that little tug I felt. Oh, yep, got a bit of a... What's going on? Okay, good. It was just sort of catching on itself, like I said. Just wanted to check that. Okay. Then nearly there. And then hopefully we'll be finished with this I want to say ligament. Signature. Okay. And then we do have to pop it through once. But I'm hopeful I can do that without pulling. I'm going to sort of keep the old one taut as I pull that through. Oop, oh, it's really gathering. So let me try to untangle that. Okay. And hopefully I can pull that through, even it out. Okay. And then, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and run it through a few times. Oops. Run it around that end once or twice. Come on. Come on, needle. Ah, gosh. Am I gonna... Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. What's this? What's this? That does not make me happy. Okay. And then even that out. Good. Okay. Another case of it getting a little wrapped around itself. I must have something going on here with the thread just sort of twisting. There must be some twisting action going on here that I can fix. So now I need to knot this, and again I have no idea how. I'm not very good on knots, and it's clearly something important right here, which they didn't really explain. So maybe I can always glue it down here. Well, I can always, I suppose I can I just like make a knot there in the end? So let me just try looping it around itself. And then just, pulling that down. And maybe I can just do sort of a square knot at that very end. So if I do that, and pull that down to the bottom, and I do it again, and pull that down all the way to the bottom, hopefully. Oops, that's a little too close, or not far enough away, I should say. Hold on. Let me try that again. We do that. So we just need to do this. But pull that way down to the very bottom. And then hopefully it will knot out. No, it's just knotting over on itself. Erg. So basically, I need to take that and prevent it from going anywhere. So if I do this, I pull that through. Just wrapping it over on itself over and over again. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, this is crazy glue. I'm just going to daub it right here on the end of that knot. And we'll see what that does. Oops, what's happening? Sorry. How'd that happen? Well, it wasn't like that for too long. Apologies. There we go. So, I've got my crazy glue on there. And it seems to be already firming up. So we'll go ahead and cut some of that off. Just trim that off. Okay. So there's my first signature. Do I need to do another signature? Add another. Last time we left the thread coming out. The first hole, the first, then thread through its first hole. Under the exposed thread. Okay, so we do the same kind of thing with another signature. But this time we wrap through, we wrap around, interesting. Although that seems, oh, we don't, I didn't realize that. That stinks. So you don't actually cut off the thread at that point. You then use that thread to do the next one. So you bind the next one to, oh, that stinks. Wow, okay. I mean, you would knot it off, but then you would put this one on, and then you essentially continue sewing. You basically sew this one onto that one, and then continue on from there. Well, I mean, I can simulate that by just taking this thread, knotting it, and then pushing it through that hole, and pretend it's just still going. So I think I'm going to do that. Let me knot this. It actually has some kind of knotted itself. That's funny. Okay, that makes that a little easier. So let me go ahead and tie a knot there, just a simple square knot, which is not always easy, as I mentioned before, with thread that is with two pieces of thread. It's all kind of looping over on itself. And then we'll try to get that fairly well. Okay. And there we are. So, I'm actually going to push this through. I'm going to do another hole. I don't know if that's wise, but it's what I'm going to do. This is the, oops. Yeah, this is the outside. So we'll go through here. All right. Okay. Back in business. Like I said, this is just the first try. Make sure we've lined up. Okay, so now what we're going to do, apparently, I don't like that there's a, okay. Lots of weird little issues. We'll make it work. So that comes out. Second signature on top of the first, so this is going to go here. That through his first hole and take it out from the second. Okay, so we thread into here, if we can. Yep. And out through here. Okay. Got that so far. Take your needle under the exposed thread between the second and third hole. So we're looping it between the thread and the pamphlet. We're just threading it between the thread and the pamphlet. Oh, nope. Okay. From top to bottom. Then through the exposed thread between hole 1 and 2. Then through the exposed thread between hole 1 and 2. Okay, so then we're going back around the other way. Like this. So going around that. That makes sense. Then you go into the second hole again. Into the second hole again. You just went from there. Oh. Into the second. Wait, into the second hole? Second hole to the final hole. This hole is 6. 13, 20, 11, 6 hole. That's it. And then, so we're doing. Six hole. So we're actually going. So this is different. We're actually going inwards the whole way. Okay. All right. All right. So we do that, and then we go back inside, and we thread here. So instead of alternating, we're going in and out. And then we're looping it around. Interesting. Hard to pick up this needle. Again, a skill I'm sure I'll figure out. So we go down here. Do that, and then up here and through that. So we're basically just winding the thread around that bottom thing and then going back into that hole. Okay, this is making sense. Go through out this way. And we will wind down here. Whoop, okay, yeah, no, that's fine. And then up through here, and I'm trying to keep this fairly taut. It's kind of the whole point is to bind it, right? Oops, what's going on? We have a catch there, okay. Go out. Go out, there we are. Okay. And then, as before, wind it through there. What's going on? Oh, I got some kind of... I'm not happy there. What happened? I'm pretty sure I did that right. Nope. Okay. Got a little bit backwards there, I think. Okay. There we are. And then again back in. Then we do the final countdown. No. Okay. And I wonder if we do we go backwards through? Like, would we need to? Oh, come on. What's going on there? Why is there a loop? There should not be a loop. What's going on? Let's pull that out a bit. Okay, I think that does it. It's a little bit of a loop, but I'm not displeased. Okay, so that comes back out there. Then we loop it around. Fair enough. So we want one more loop around that thing. And then if we had more signatures, presumably we could do something there. We'd add more on to the okay, then you get out from the fifth hole. Now thread your needle under the loop created by the same hole the last thread needle under the loop in the same hole. Yeah, then thread to the fifth hole. This one's a lot easier to cover by needle. Okay, so I'm a little confused on this, but I'm just going to follow the picture. The instructions are not unclear. It's weird. I'm going to go back over here and loop up through here. Which hopefully will kind of... Ooh, no, actually. I'm just seeing. I need to... No, hold on. Okay, so I need to wrap this around here. So do one more loop. Okay. Now I do this. So I'm going through here and through here. And then, oops. No. What are you doing? What are you doing? What's happening? Okay, I think we're okay. Looping subsequent signature, thread the hole under the loop, and then thread into the fifth hole. And thread into the fifth hole. Then thread into the fifth hole. But we're already, we can't do that because there's already a first hole. So I want us to go inside here. That doesn't make sense because we already have a hole inside there, but I guess it would add stability. So let's try it. So this goes. Oh, it didn't stick around that end. Huh. I must have. Well, of course not, because there's no reason for it to. Okay. Let's go ahead and do the thing. So we push this in here. And then I guess we're gonna loop it around there, I guess. I don't know. Well, that doesn't make sense. But I'm gonna do it like this. So I'm gonna loop it around there and there. Maybe that's what we're supposed to do. Loop it. Oh, come on, needle. Whoop. And then pull it inside. And then thread. Oh, come on. So it's not going to be super taut here, it looks like. And then we will loop around like that. And then do the same kind of thing here. The same thing on the same thread, third and the next signature. There's the last one sort of going in the same hold. Here's you want using the same technique. Hold thread into the last hole and tie in a knot. Okay, so we're going to go into the last hole. Do this. Oh, wait. Nope. Sorry. Do this. And then they want us to loop back around, apparently, so that when you pull that through, it will tie off. And it does appear to be tying off in a fairly useful way. I'm going to assume that's a knot. Oops. Needle the thread out from the last hole and cut it off. Okay, so I assume that means thread out from the last hole and cut it off. So, ladies and germs, we now have a pamphlet. It is fairly bound. I mean, it's a little loose, but that's not a big deal. Now we add a spine. So, we want to do only the spine, and let's go brown paper, make sure the paper on. So, the recommendation is to, interesting. So you do a spine, and then you put the cover on the spine. Let's do a spine real quick, and this will be the end of this because I can't actually. It takes time for the glue to dry and so forth. Let me grab some paper. No, I have some brown paper. 1 second. This seems like pretty appropriate paper for to bind a book. So let me cut off some of this. And they say you want some extras. Or some extra. Again, this is just the spine. And we'll go ahead and make that a little nicer. Clearly, I should be a little more careful when I say try to be nicer. This is going to be very uneven. I'm sure there's a way of checking this to make it a little better. All right. Then we're going to grab some good old Elmer's, and actually I need some books, some fairly heavy books, and ones that I don't mind. Not quite sacrificing, but might get a little bit of glue on them. Let's see here. Probably. I don't have to do books. They could be things that are just heavy. But you know what? I got some stuff here. Yeah. So let me go ahead and just squirt some glue onto this. Ooh. There we go. Oops. All right. And actually, I'm going to want a little bead here. On this side. And again, apparently, we will eventually put a cover on this, and that will go over the spine. So the spine doesn't need to be exactly perfect. I'll try to get those inside here. I get the thread within. Okay. Oh, get the glue off me. All right. Off any glue. Stick some books on here. Okay. And then I'm going to just let that sit there and glue and dry. And then maybe next week we'll come back and we will add some covers. But basically it would just be, taking some cardstock or some stiff cardboard or whatever, and you're just going to take that and cut it to size and glue it down here. And as the front, same thing on the back, and then just trim your spine. That would be the idea. So we have book-bound pamphlet, it looks like. We'd probably then trim off the edges, so the edges are a little uneven, so we could trim that. But I think we got it. Hey, Jaden. We're actually just done here, so actually fairly straightforward. So we took some pieces of paper, folded them in half, marked dots on them consistently, evenly, poked holes in them, and then basically threaded thread through those holes, knotting on one end, so alternating first, going all the way up and down the one, and then we put, and that was on the first signature, the first set of papers. Put another one on there, and then threaded in, threaded into the first set, threaded back out, knotted around the first loop, went back in, came back out the second time, threaded around the next one, went back through, and went all the way down, and you can keep on doing that for the entire book. And I guess what you could do, and you're looking at this now, you could look at that, and you could really estimate the amount of thread you need pretty easily, because you're going to go up and down the first signature once, and then up each signature once, and then I guess down the last signature. So if you have two signatures here, it's one, up and down one, up, and then basically down. So whatever that would be, with some extra, that would kind of guesstimate the amount of thread you need. So there we go. And again, there's our little pamphlet, and that would work out pretty well, I think, as a pamphlet. Again, so once you trimmed out and once you trimmed that off and glued it down, you'd have an actual pamphlet. That's pretty cool. So that's how to bookbind a pamphlet. Bookbind a pamphlet. Like I said, I may come back and do another video where I show finishing it off, but that worked out pretty well. So that's it. Just some thread, needle, paper, bit of glue, and something for a spine, and you're good to go. So Yeah, sorry for that you having to come in at the end there, Jaden, but that was Bookbinding a Pamphlet. Thanks all for watching. That'll do it for me for tonight. Until next time, make something.